Alright folks, so we're ready to start here. I've got the zombies in place. We're starting off turn one. Unfortunately for our civilians, they have no clue what's happening. They're just sort of wandering around like lost ducks in thunderstorms, as they're often will do. So we're just going to randomly move our street people, or the ones that we have on the street, I guess is more accurate. They're not really street people. We're just going to move them about 4 inches, just so they move around a little bit for turn one. The people that are in the buildings, they're going to stay in the buildings because, like I said, nobody actually knows what's going on yet. So this is the beauty behind the zombie game. You can start it with they know what's coming, and they're going to fortify, or you can start it off that nobody has a clue, and look out. So in this case, we're starting off nobody has a clue and look out. So turn one, I've moved the civilians that are on the street. So that's the end of turn one. The zombies come on next turn, so I'm going to move to turn two. The people in the street are going to move another 4 inches, just sort of randomly move around, just so they get a little bit of movement. And now we're going to bring the zombies on. So we got a group of zombies here, and we got a group of zombies over by McLagan's. You can see over there. So I'm going to bring the zombies on. Now you got to remember, zombies in INEPTT respond to noise and blood. Like they can smell blood. So those are the two things they will respond to. Blood first. So if other zombies have attacked a civilian somewhere, they're going to go towards that. But they can also sense blood. They can smell it. So when they come on the first turn, they're kind of stumbling around randomly. So the ravers don't move 15 in this case. They move 5 with the rest of the walkers. So the first turn that the zombies come on, they will only move 5 inches. So I'm going to bring them on 5 inches. And they come on in a horde. They just stay sort of clumped together until something triggers them to go after different people. Now, if you remember, I said earlier that I'm not using the tower. It's only going to be used for the camera. So you can see that I've just moved those 10 zombies down below. And I'm going to move the 10 over by McLagan's onto the table. And then the next turn, we're going to have a bit of a breakout of nastiness, I think. Because the zombies now can see the people that are walking on the street, and they will also smell or sense those that are in the buildings. So there we go. We've got 2 sets of zombies on now. You can see there's the McLagan group and the one just below the tower. Okay, so I'm going to try and raise this camera up just a little bit so you can see both groups of zombies a little bit better. And I apologize for the camera work. I'm still trying to get used to how it all runs, and it is a very wide angle lens that I have. So I'm trying to understand how best to position it. So if you have any suggestions as you're watching the videos, please let me know, because I'm brand new to this. Okay, so we got the zombies on the table. That's the end of turn 2. Turn 3, we now have civilians see these massive group of moaning, shambling, walking dead. They're going to be a little bit surprised by that. So what we're going to do is we're going to see what kind of reaction we get from the civilians. So we'll take this civilian over here first. This one by that group of 10 zombies. We're going to do a morale roll for her to see if she's going to be okay or if she's going to run. So if she's okay, and she rolled a 10, so she's fine, she'll do whatever we want her to do. So we want her to run into the store with Al, because she knows Al, everybody knows Al, and that's probably the safest place for her, given the fact that Al is a trained weapons master and more than capable of defending people. So she's going to run into the 7-Eleven. So I'm going to take the roof off 7-Eleven now, because we don't need it at this point. It's up to you whether you want to put roofs back on. It always looks good in a game. And if you were putting on a demo game, I would suggest that you let people know what roof belongs to what, so they can follow the game. Okay, so she's good. We got a good roll of 10. Now we're going to move over here slightly to these three ladies down here. So we've got this one over here. We're going to have to roll for her. And she rolled a 3. So that's not good. She's panicking. So what kind of panic is she going to get? She rolls a 2. And that means she's going to run in a random direction. So we now have to roll. What I normally do is I use a D8 for direction. And I basically split the table up north, south, east, west with a north by northeast, north by northwest. And she is going to run, unfortunately, if you take north is the gun shop, she is going to run, sorry, not unfortunately, but fortunately, she's going to run south by southwest. So she's going to run 8 inches. Unfortunately, it's down towards this other group of zombies right here. So she's now moved. We have to roll for the other 2 ladies. The one on the phone rolls a 9, so she's good, and she's going to move into the pharmacy because she's like, oh my goodness, what's going on? So she's going to run into the pharmacy, and we can now leave the pharmacy roof off, understanding that Cinnamon, her coffee shop, is on top of the pharmacy. And then the final lady, we'll roll for her. She rolls an 8. She's in good shape. She's going to run into the pharmacy as well. So now we've had our civilians have all been moved. The ones that are in the shops don't need to come out because, quite frankly, they don't know what's going on. The 4 that are on the street do. Now we get to move the zombies again. So we'll move this group of 10 down here. And of course, they now have a target, which is this poor woman who ran towards them. So the Raver can move 15, and he's going to go in behind her, and we'll just move as many as we can into contact. We've got the Spitter that's going to get in there, and it looks like we've got probably 2 walkers that can get in. And the rest will just bunch up behind because they want to try and get a piece of flesh as well. And this poor woman, she's in big trouble. So when you're moving waves of zombies, I highly recommend that when you move a wave, do the combat with that wave, and then move to a next wave. If you get a big wave of, if you get a big wave of 50 zombies or similar, you'll find that if you don't do it wave by wave, you'll forget who's had contact and who hasn't. So do it by wave. So we're going to take care of this one. Again, the zombies all move towards the nearest target. So that's the woman. Nice and simple in the solo game. So the Raver gets 2 attack dice. And Ravers are a nasty proposition. Civilians have a normal fight of 7, which means they have to roll 7 or higher to get a hit. The Ravers... they really are a nasty proposition. They are. I'm just finding the Raver cheat sheet, or the zombie cheat sheet, or statistics, I guess. I normally photocopy or print off all the sheets, but I didn't today, just because I wanted to get on with the game. So the Raver moves 15, has a fight of 5, and gets 2 attacks. So the 2 attacks is basically scratch and a bite. So either one can cause damage, and a 5 will hit. So they got a 9 and a 10. So a 10 is a critical, which would do 2 wounds. So any civilian has, to start a game, has 2 health. So in this case, if the zombie got a hit, which it looks like it probably will, that critical, oh sorry, my bad, I got to back up. Those hits have to penetrate the armor. So now, most people don't have armor, but what this means is the zombie has a chance of causing a wound. There's always a chance that you miss, even when you get a hit with a rifle or a gun or a bite. There's always a chance that the the attack doesn't do any damage. So the zombie got a critical hit, which halves the chance of missing the hit. So in this case, a civilian with no armor will be hit on a 5+. Will actually take a wound. The 5+ is halved because of the critical hit, the 10. So the zombie will get a successful bite or wound on the lady on a 3+, and they roll a 6. Now the other one was a 9. That's not a critical. It's still a hit though. But this time it's a 5+ to get a hit because of the natural chance of missing. And they rolled a 9. So that means the woman took 2 wounds. So we knock her down. She's been killed. And now she's being munched on by the zombies. So in one turn, so this turn the zombies stay where they are. No other zombies can move from that wave. The next turn they will continue on to the next nearest target. And when they do, the woman will stand up on turn, so this is turn 3. On turn 4, she will stand up and be a zombie. So we'll replace her figure with a zombie figure. So now we're going to move over and we're going to look at the zombie wave over by McLagan's. I just got to reset the camera. Okay, so in this case, the zombies are going to go after McLagan's shop. So only the Raver can get in. And this is going to be a fair fight because McLagan is a tough hombre. So we're going to put all 10 zombies into McLagan's shop. And the Raver, gets the first attacks against McLagan. And then McLagan, if he survives, will get to fight back. So the zombie rolls and gets a 4 and a 5. So that's a 1 hit against McLagan. But he only rolls a 3, so there's no wounds. So now McLagan fights back against the Raver. It's important to know that McLagan was SAS for a number of years, and he gets 2 attacks, and he has a meat cleaver. So McLagan gets a 1, which is not good. That means drops the meat cleaver, but then he got a 10, which is a critical hit, and his critical is a 10 as well. So that means he dropped his meat cleaver, but he basically stuck both fingers in the eyes of the zombie Raver and ripped its head apart and killed it. So lucky for McLagan, he's a tough guy and managed to fend off the zombie with his hand-to-hand combat skills. So there we go. Turn 3, the zombies are encroaching on McLagan and they've killed a woman. Turn 4 will be coming up shortly, and that will mean another 2 waves of 10 zombies each.